I just cleaned up subscriptions. I can't keep them on anymore. There's too much noise in my head, especially when I sleep. And I've slept better when I got less connection. So, like I told my dad, he deleted his Facebook. It messed with his phone and shit. I told him when they kicked me off back in like 21 or 22, I haven't missed it a lick at all. You don't miss it. The interaction is, it's superficial and it's shallow. It's not meaningful, relationships, are meaningful. A Katie pizza hug. Dad, you're a liar. Santa found us. Relationships are meaningful. They got a lot of Kringle bells and chocolate clips and Cluties and Malakis and Batmas, and they're very meaningful. And relationships aren't meant to be validated by selfish people that have us say we're successful because we have lots of money, more than other people. And the going after the money deletes all meaning of our existence, right? So that I watched the last episode of that little Sac State thing on that overtime thing, and I really like Shaquille O'Neal a lot. And it wasn't the money that made his life where he's a kind, empathetic, thoughtful person and thinks about other people and not just himself. And that's it was a relationship he has with his mother. Okay. Because they were able to have a relationship. A lot of times it has more meaningful moments in it. Because Dad had to give up that relationship for the money. Okay. And that's the only way a lot of these kids, with their relationships with their moms, that the mom, it shows, I got the same with Bryce and Bronny James. Okay. It's the relationship with the mother. And then the father has to sacrifice the meaningfulness of the relationship to provide a environment for the mother to have a meaningful relationship with the kids. Okay. And people, well, the kids are the, no. Okay. Money has nothing to do with anything. Money is evil invention for stupid people to feel successful at being evil. Okay. Mike had a real good relationship with his mom, but not with his father. But his father's money provided that relationship with his mom. Okay. And the court system plays parent. You pay for that child and send them to school to dress them up warmly and be nobody's fool. He's got a nice car. He'll have a nice job. But not as much money as Dad. And so it will be hard for Mom to have as meaningful of a relationship with Shakir's kids, if Shakir decides to have kids, than Shaq. But Shakir, if given the opportunity, because he had the meaningful relationship with his mother, and it wasn't dictated by the military, there's influence from the military there. Okay. That cold stoic bullshit, right? And cold stoic bullshit doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. You got to stay in there and be successful. Like what happened with me when my mom died. I had to just keep working and going to school. And they said you could sign off, you could get a thing and get straight A's because your mom died. I was like, I didn't take the thing to have the truck paid off at the credit union because Mom died, and I sure wasn't going to get straight A's because the system with the A's killed my mother with toxic economic abuse, manipulation, home invasion, and stress. Okay. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. I know what I'm doing even when I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. And I don't want to know what's going on if there's nothing I can do about it. But the moment I know, okay, what's going on, and I get up and do something about it, I'm going to do it my way because I'm better than the people that are marginalizing me and making me appear insignificant to people that think they're significant, right? I always tell people, you do know my life isn't okay. And people you roll their eyes, you think you all that. It's like, no, I am the man whose life story is the book of Revelation. Y'all made me all that by being insignificant, by chasing money for success. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. I am the light, I am the way, not unto the faith of the Father except unto me. But no, I really like that Shakir kid. And then they showed mom, and yeah, he does look a lot like mom. She's a pretty girl, But it's Shaq's wife, so I kind of expect that, okay, yeah, she's pretty. She's a pretty girl, and he looks a lot like his mother, and she's smaller. She's not as big as Shaq, so he's a big kid. He's probably about 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". Okay, so he's a big kid. He's smooth. He's got a smooth game. He's got a good shot. And he's the big thing about it is he's a very empathetic and kind person. Like Jack Nixon always says in the basketball games. It's better to be a good person than a good basketball player, right? I was the best basketball player any of those jokers back in Shaq's generation ever knew. And I quit playing because they required for you not to be a good person on the court to be successful at it. So I quit. And I tried to find a place that had like a basketball utopia where I could lead the way in not doing anything to win. Okay. There are limitations. Your that whole your rights end where mine begin. You have the right to remain silent because I don't want to hear you talk about money. Okay. And then you have to turn them off to think right. Okay. And so the last couple of nights has been hard to think about this, and about dying from toxins and stress from the cancer and the depression of being murdered in cities from extortion. And then I have to tune out. But I did get a lot of people who go, okay, yeah. The reason why I stay so long at the store is because of all the people that had to work there on 8 and 12, like I used to have to work at 8, 12-hour shifts in that Freon. And it's a chemical, and it makes you sick, and eventually it kills you. And they like they told me in service, that we can program people like we're programming a video game, and we can't get them to do anything they don't want to do, and there's nothing you can do about it, Parsons. And what do you mean there's nothing I can do about it? I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. I'm the bravest, most gorgeous, beautiful, amazing lover in the history of the world. I'm the greatest lover in the history of the U.S. military. I'm the greatest lover in the history of Arizona State University. In every state I've ever treaded, put sneakers to dirt, asphalt, and concrete, and linoleum and whatever floors they make. You know what I'm saying? So what do you mean there's nothing I can do about it? My life story is the book of Revelation. Think of already who done gone and did that thing down all right, like me, boy, crying, So I went and watched that thing. The one person they were focusing on the most is Mikey Williams, and he's very distracted. And God is his eternal forms of communication. That's a projection of the comic book character Jesus from the Vatican, and that happens with a lot of people. And so he seeks help, but he's too distracted by what he has to do to get the money to truly listen to the Lord. Where his teammate isn't distracted because his dad took the brunt of that. Okay. And his dad's still stuck in the brunt of that. Okay. No, I like Shaq. There's more I like about Shaquille O'Neal than what I don't like about Shaquille O'Neal. Okay. There's a big, tender-hearted, sweet kid that got abused and made fun of when he was young because he was very big. I'm about to cry. I'm fucking about to cry here because I'm not connecting to big, tough guy, military, mindset Shaq. I'm connecting to 12 and 13-year-old Shaq that got made fun of. Okay, because he was like already like 6 foot. He was huge. Okay, he couldn't dunk, and they made fun of him. Okay, because he was just very big, and he grew real fast, and he was very big. And when you go through certain stages in your life, there's this awkwardness. This you can't move as well. You can't do. Once he got past that and developed, then all of a sudden he became, you know, where he could work hard at it and become dominant and, make you pay for making fun of him not being able to dunk when they shot he should have. Yeah, I told you guys, I was the point guard of all point guards. Remember here at Mayfield when all the little 5'7", 6 guys, 5'4" guys used to talk shit about Franz and Gerald, and because I could throw down. Me and Waylon used to do things with chairs and different things because Waylon could jump. We were the ones that used to jump up, and the girls used to spike the volleyball in our face. In PE, yeah, it was funny. Sometimes I would score with my face, so it kind of, but that hurt. Why you gotta hit it so hard? And they would laugh. It's like, God, you girls are mean, man. Don't put your face in the way. It's like we're supposed to have fun. I wasn't trying my hardest. No, if I was trying my hardest, she wouldn't have been able to spike it in my face. It would have been in my chest, Or who knows? Maybe if I was trying my hardest, probably would have been in my nutsack. Then I would have, hey, girl, come on now. Gotta help him make it feel better. Okay, help me make it feel better. Because you're talking about a guy that jumped over, didn't hurdle, but jumped over a 5'6" kid, just woof, And so, yeah, I didn't hurdle him. I leaped over him, I didn't spread the legs like Michael Jordan. I did pull the legs up and put my hands down to brace myself to fall because I thought I was going to get judo flipped like I always do, but Chris didn't do that. He just freaked. He just went, shit. That's the bottom of Earl's shoes. Earl's flying. Shit. And you can hear the coach yell, ah! And I thought, oh, God, I'm in trouble. He goes, no, you were soaring with the Eagles. Coach Island was like, if you hadn't have crouched to prepare yourself to fall, it would have been nice to see if you'd reached up. He goes, next time, he goes, put your hands up in the air. Because I crouched and went like this because I was waiting to get ducked under, but and I pulled my legs up, but I was so high, it wasn't going to happen. That's because Chris just stood there like a deer in the headlights, and he freaked. Because I was inspired, because it was out of energy, because I got sick of my, especially the guards, being selfish, and halfway through practice, said, fuck this shit. I said, I'm going to go over here, and I went over and asked Coach Heisland, can I play with you? Because I think I got a better chance of winning the city championship with these guys than those guys. They're just too goddamn selfish. Okay, so I had it. Okay, they would just being the more we won half our games, and we should have won more. And Coach Heisland admitted. I mean, Coach Brasper and Coach Heisland admitted it to me. Yeah. A lot of the stuff that happened, you believed we could win, we didn't. I never come out as the whole thing, like I told, after we won our first game, I didn't come out here to lose. We're going to win more. Right? You don't go out there, especially when they're cocky, like the kids at Douglas and Glen Rock were. Yeah, they were cocky as fuck because everybody beat Morgan, right? But they get a load of me, right? And when we should have won that game where they were all excited when I made the last shot, and we only lost by like 3 or 5, and I was like, shit, god damn, we shouldn't have lost these chomps, right? When we wear the white uniforms, because I could play better because I didn't have the baggy shorts, and they fit nice. And I kept asking the coach, can we wear these uniforms every time? My shorts were longer, but they had nice tight elastic thing. They looked like the Morgan State uniforms that only in not blue and orange, but black and red. That they had when they had Marvin Webster and all that. So I liked him. He didn't like them. He didn't like the rings around the pants. He thought they looked, and I was like, who cares? I like them. They were cool. And they said, Morgan. The ones he made us wear were just red. They didn't have any writing, and they had the white white stripe with red pinstripes and red pants and red shirts with just white trim and numbers, but no, But our, quote, home uniforms, our white uniforms, they ordered and got made, and they were like Morgan State's, but in the different color. And they said Morgan on the front because they were based off of this thing for Morgan State, which I really liked. And so they said Morgan across the front, and they had our numbers, and it had these, it had a big black circle around the center of the pants and two thinner red circles. We only got to wear them one game. And that was my best game to start, but the rest of the team just wasn't playing up to par. They didn't feel they could win. And I had a good game, and I tried to ask the coach. I said, Katie, he goes, no, I don't like these uniforms. I said, please, can we wear these, especially every home game? I don't have to run around, because when we played those jerks at their place, I had to run around holding my pants from falling down. Then finally, I talked to some of the JV guys and let me borrow their shorts. I said, I'll wash them and stuff. I asked Mom to fix mine if I could, but the last thing, she was working. She was tired. She just didn't have enough time. If I would have known how to, I would have done it, I probably should have took the incentive, but we didn't have, it wasn't like I am today. I can go down to the store, buy some elastic, grab it, sew it in with the sewing machine. Mom had a sewing machine. We just didn't have the materials necessary for me to do with it what I can do now when I go to the store. But you got to remember, you guys, I was a 15-year-old kid without a car. It's a lot different than what you guys can do to now. And, we didn't have cell phones to get, and where to buy the stuff and where was it in that store, and stuff. So it was completely different. You look at it now and say, why didn't you do this? It's like, yeah, Gemini. Yeah, Google. I got you. Wikipedia. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me yesterday? Boom, ba-doom, boom, boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, boom, ba-doom, ba-da-na-na-na-na. Okay. You guys are supposed to be Rhodes Scholars and Ivy League grads, doctorates and PhDs. You're supposed to be the most brilliant generation in the history of generations of brilliantness in the history of the world. And you can't even stand up for the most perfect commands for technology to save children from genocide with a guy who's just gorgeous. Thank you. You're welcome. I love me too. I love me too. I'm learning to love myself. You're being obnoxious, aren't you? Yes. I'm being very fucking obnoxious. If you haven't noticed by now. All the things that we've been through. But I really like Shaquille O'Neal. I like that kid a lot. Yeah. I'm going to meet him. We're going to barbecue together, man. We are going to barbecue together. I am going to barbecue with, no panic rooms. Just, straight up barbecue. With cantaloupe and strawberries, of course. and a buggy. Yeah. I'm sure Buggy gives good barbecue and Pizza Hut still, But any of you guys, you got to earn a Pizza Hut. That's what she was 3. Pizza would be different now. She's 19, right? My little sweetie pie. Yeah. Oh, no, I fully expect, I expect and want, my daughters to meet a nice young man and have grandkids and get pizza hugs from the grandkids. And, oh, yeah, yes. Okay. I don't know if my daughter's single, but she's a total sweetheart, and she's pretty and sweet, like strong like her mother, But I would thoroughly enjoy having you as a son-in-law if you were, interested in getting to know her and appreciate her and go for, walks and talks and feel close to you. I want to be close to you. And then, since we don't have money and the dumb for the fuck for the buck for it, how about us? No, I really like the kid. He's a real sweetheart. He's a total sweetheart. Kate Addison Parsons. Yeah, she's good. Long black hair, big brown eyes. And very strong and protecting and an anti-bully. And she likes to play video games where you get to be a protector of people that are vulnerable. and she protects people from bullying. Yeah, all Amy was that way when she was young too. So me and it comes by both by mom and dad. Yeah, mom just does it differently. She beats the shit out of them. I don't have to. They're all terrified of me. I just kicked the sword, right? I'm the sword. You know what I'm saying? No, but yeah, I'm just being silly here. But yeah, I'm serious and serious. But I don't know if I have no idea. I don't home invade and I give people privacy and prayers and stuff like that because I want to know what's happening with them and to only a certain degree because they're in carbon emission cesspool, genocidal factories called metropolises, and the brain activity is very bad because all you think about is just surviving and then reaching that pie in the sky summit to where you can get a plot of land next to Greg LeMond and Jackson Hole, near the Grand Tetons and all that stuff. And it's like, you do know if they keep fucking with the ecosystem, that you're sitting right on top of Woody Harrelson's fantasy Winnebago. Okay. That's one thing I'm very concerned about, global shifts and volcanic activity that has to react to bad human economic activity that causes a radical, violent ecological reactions because we're not in balance, harmony, and understanding. We're the Titans. Guys, Olympus would be that way. Blow him away. Not Zeus. I'm the Lord. I can explain mythology and scientific evidence of interactive mythology. When you're looking at religions, you're looking at people's concerns of what's happening, because past, present, future operate at the same time, flying high in the friendly skies without reaching the ground. So stupid-minded. So, I'm like Judah Krishnamurti and others in Suzuki, where we're supremely intelligent to most people. And everything in the Gospels and everything in religion has to do with relative interactive terms of human existence, So the scientific applications, they seem like radical, whacked out, psychopathic, schizophrenic, sociopathic episodes because of the, well, that doesn't even seem real. It's like, yeah, manipulation is very real, and science projects are very fucked, especially when they're invented by fuckers who tried to tell us there is no love, and it costs money to fuck. So, do you see what I'm saying? So, no, I'm connecting to Shakir and his teammates. That was all Mikey Williams right there in Bear, right? That was those guys, man. I connect to people in prayer. I like the Prophet kid too. Yeah, I like his name, Prophet Johnson. He's a sweetheart. They all were pretty sweet kids. It was, Mike and his crew did a good job of bringing in kids that have empathy for one another and what they've been through. So last chance for you to get up and be respectful and empathetic and understanding and care about what people go through because their families get destroyed by economic success and conflict, right? Mike knows about it. Yeah. His mom, I had a crush on his mom. His mom is cute. You're like, well, she's a professional basketball player girl, kind of remind me of Remy's girlfriend. Yeah, it's like Mike Bibby. I was like, wow, his mom's pretty. Yeah. She's pretty. Yeah, no, Mike's mom is very pretty. Yeah. So, she's a basketball wife, y'all. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah. So Henry baby. Henry went to UCLA. So maybe they met at campus and she's from LA, So, a lot of people migrate to California and it's a very competitive environment. So a lot of attractive people think they can find a lot of success in that California sunshine, You ever heard that song by Waylon Jennings? Yeah. It's a good song. And for a little dab of that California, he's from away going there. And I say, it's San Diego, Frisco, or LA. But the people in Frisco, in the city, don't like you calling it Frisco. Okay, they don't like that. People from away call it Frisco. But they call it the city. Okay. You would joke with you people. I have a lot of people from the town. In that case, it's the town. Okay, don't let me catch you out the dark in the town. Coming up with that snooty city shit. It's the town, right? I have friends from Oakland. Okay. And from San Francisco? Um, my brother hated it there. Didn't like it. Eddie, right? He did not like it. Um, uh, he never said anything about Oakland. I more people that I knew. The Valleys were from Richmond, which is the other side of the bay. And so I had I had people that I met and knew from the town and that side. Okay, and I had a lot of people when I worked in Wyoming. I met a lot of kids from Stockton. I met kids from Stockton and lots of kids from Sacramento and San Jose. But a lot of the little Miss Washington kid and the other, yeah, they were from Sacramento. Most of the Mexican and the black kids from NSI were from the Sacramento area. Robert was from San Jose, so he was a Niners fan, right? Yeah. Niners, and he really liked Marshawn Lynch and the Cal Bears. Yeah, he got that from Stuart Nate Nice. This is his foster care father. Yeah, he was a Cal and a Niners fan. It's like, well, he white, just kidding around. You're funny. No, he's not that white, because if he was that white, he'd be a Stanford and 49ers fan. Stanford. That's white. Okay, white. Okay. Because Marshawn from the town area, right? He went to Cal. Okay. Taiwan Hill and shit. You're funny. Okay. Well, he was a big 5-star recruit, and stuff. And Earl, you funny. But yeah, he's one of them 5-star recruits and shit. So you're gonna go to the big money maker, you get in and then get the right agents and so on and so forth. Gets into the factory. You got to get in the factory. When you play at Sac State, you're in the boondocks. You in Idaho and Montana, and when you play at Sac State, and UC Davis, which is their rivals, down in the boondocks. People put me down because that's the side of town I was born in. So they put a lot of money into getting out of the boondocks and being able to compete with the factory. So their kids had a better opportunity to have Shakir and Bronny and Bryce and so forth. And it's wrong. It's fundamentally wrong. Money's an evil invention for the evil to have people be stupid so they can be successful at being evil. I am the light, I am the way, not unto the faith of the eternal, faithful, perfect Father. Adam, who's taller than Shaq. He leaner than Shaq. Father Adam, yeah. He has kind of a look like, it's different than Leon, but kind of like Leon from the Madonna video. Okay, that's what our Father Adam looks like. Okay, he doesn't have long hair like me when it gets longer. He has the Sweet Lou Dunbar and the Twiggy Sanders thing going on when his hair gets long, just like Mama does, Eve. Yeah, her hair is not. It acclimates to the environment better. Okay, the melanin in the skin, the wider nose because of the warmer air, and the hair when it grows up and out instead of down does not irritate the skin as much when it gets hot and other things and stuff like that. So it's just this natural design to acclimate to the environment is why mom and dad, original mom and dad in my family tree, which there's archaeological evidence to prove it, and where we evolved near Mount Zion, and mom and dad have curly, kinky hair that. And that's why I remember when I was in Mormon church and they talked all this mess about, they smell funny and all that. It's like, smells like home to me. I was pushed away by the jealous ones because I wouldn't make fun of and abuse other people to feel superior. I'm the gracious good shepherd. I'm the one that people pray to, help me make it through the night. All I'm taking is your time, I don't care what to let the devil cake tomorrow. Because tonight I need a friend. Harriet Tubman used to tell stories that the Spirit of the Lord would come and spoon her at night when she was afraid and lonely. And you said, oh, Harriet Tubman afraid and lonely? Yeah, lots of times. She was in very difficult situations and it was very hard. That same woman that would sit there and carry a pistol and tell a guy, not quite shack size, but big enough, nigga, you think you in charge of this? I'll just kill you now, and we'll all get through safe. Okay, that's my Harriet Tubman. Okay, she had to chloroform the babies to get them to fall asleep so they could get through without the babies crying. It's a horrible feeling, but you got to do it because she looks at everybody. We've got babies. We want to get these babies through, but they can't be crying. So we got to give them something to, pull a tooth. And yeah, it was horrible. She hated it. It made her feel bad. But she would tell me, she would look at those mamas and go, this ain't going to kill them and they're going to be all right and we'll get through it. And she tried to do that as little as possible. She tried to skirt around places. She would go 100, 200 miles out of her way, out of the thing. A lot of times if there was too many babies or if the baby showed sign of getting sick and it could cause problems with them and possibly kill the baby, to chloroform it. So she's, oh gosh, I hate tribalism. I hate selfishness. I despise it. Okay. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's selfishness. And love hates selfishness. So be a perfect lover like me. Okay, guys, I love you. That was a good prayer connection. Thanks, Shakira and Mommy, and thanks for connecting me better to your dad. That was really you're a very like Bryce and Bronny do with LeBron. Thanks for being such good men, and thanks for reflecting, the meaningful presence of your mothers that want kids to be able to be, protected and fed and clothed and, protected from bullying and abuse, like those moms. Okay. Oh gosh, I got somebody in my head now. You don't have to be everybody's cash cow, Mrs. Residency in Las Vegas. Okay, guys, I love you. We'll talk later. Okay. Peace out, man. Okay.